Let's get you the latest updates on cyclonic storm Nivar. Remember that when it made landfall, it was a very severe storm, and now it's weakened into a severe cyclone. Puducherry and coastal districts of Tamil Nadu, including Cuddalore and Nagapattinam, continue to receive spells of rain and experience heavy winds. Going by all the reports that we've received, the worst affected district is that of Cuddalore, which has received record rainfall. Puducherry, Chennai, parts of these two places are waterlogged. Trees have also been uprooted. There are incidents of wall collapse that have been reported in some parts of Tamil Nadu, according to the government. More than 2 lakh people in all have been moved to shelters in the state. 25 NDRF teams have been deployed. Clearance operations are currently underway. More teams, about 22 teams, are still on standby. Importantly, the Chennai airport has finally resumed operations after 79 flights were cancelled. This was an overnight suspension of flight ops. All roads leading to beaches, Marina Beach, the Elliots Beach in Besanagar, the Tirvanmur Beach, they've all been closed because last evening people tried to reach these beaches to take pictures and witness the cyclone firsthand when it made landfall. Cyclone Nivar made landfall at 30 kilometers really north of Puducherry at 11:30 p.m. last night. The eye of the storm was around 115 kilometers south of Chennai, which is why the gusty winds did hit Chennai, but not the worst of it. There was heavy rains, however, in the city. And before I get you an update from the ground, what's the forecast like? And I want to explain that for you about what you can expect in the next few hours. There's a reason I keep saying that caution is the need of the hour, because there are still heavy spells of rain that is expected. Now, what I'm showing you right now is the movement of the system. This is the very severe cyclonic storm, which has turned into a severe cyclonic storm now. It's moved completely into land. This forecast is as of 10 a.m. This is the latest movement. And what I can show you here, if I zoom in further, is that you can see that there's a lot more rainfall that is expected in these areas. This particular color band that you see here of red and yellow will bring more rain for Chennai, for Puducherry, as well as several coastal parts of Andhra Pradesh. Remember that the cyclone, as far as the movement of the system itself is concerned, is here. You see it moving this particular side, and it's moved further into land, which means that it is going to further weaken. What I'm also going to show you is what the situation is going to be in the coming hours. Let's say at about 4 p.m. today, you see that the cyclone has moved further in. And if I zoom out further for you, I can show you how it's moved further into land. It will weaken, but till then, till it moves fully in, it will bring in rain. So the Met Department is saying, going by the movement of this cyclone, that there will be spells of heavy rain in Chennai, Puducherry, Cuddalore, Nagapattinam, as well as in coastal districts of Andhra Pradesh. So that is the forecast ahead, and that's why it's important for everyone to stay indoors for the next 24 hours as well. Let me also get you some ground reports. Our reporters have been tracking the cyclone through the night, and they filed these reports on the situation on the ground.
It looks like this is a stream of water that is going on, but this is an arterial road in Puducherry, which is near the Indira Gandhi statue, and all across this place, water is completely flooded. Both sides, actually all 4 sides of the road has been completely waterlogged, and people have been trying to wade through this water in so much of difficulty. Yesterday we had seen that there was prohibition that was given, but now we are seeing that since there's no prohibition or section 144 in place, people have started venturing out. Many of them just curious, many of them returning back to work, and we're seeing that it's a very tough situation. We are also seeing the traffic cops are trying to, figure out how to make these people move in an according manner without creating congestion. But unfortunately, there is a lot of waterlogging here. Water is flowing like a stream, and this is a tough scenario. And now almost many arterial roads in Puducherry are inundated, and it is a big question as to how long will it take for government officials to pump out all this water out of the city to ensure that people return, have a normal life again. Public who have stepped out of their homes are having difficulties venturing out. Many people in two-wheelers have been the ones who have been facing the maximum difficulty here. And, at this juncture, we can only expect that people start taking caution and remain indoors and not step out. They can at least see these visuals on their screen and understand that the situation outside is not safe.
Right now I'm in one of the fishing villages near Mahabalipuram, and as you can see here in the morning, the breeze has started to blow across and the rain has also started slightly. So the sea condition is very evident. The sea is rough. The waves are picking up height and momentum. So that is actually quite a and if you just see across the sea area, there has been a large-scale sea encroachment. That is actually what we see over here. The water has started gushing in, causing some damage to the structures over here. And talking about the cyclone, after the landfall, the cyclone big structure is now further moving inland, and technically that would weaken the eye of the storm. But in the peripheral area, like the areas where we are staying, the particular wind will continue, and that is what we are experiencing even right now. It's quite a dangerous height, if I can say. And to add on to that, there is this very strong wind which is blowing across. So this is how the first morning after Cyclone Niva has made its landfall looks like in Mahabalipuram. With camera person Madhu Gopikrishnan, Mahabalipuram for India Today.
What's the situation in Puducherry? Akshay Nath spoke exclusively to the Chief Minister, who early this morning was already out doing his rounds to get a sense of what the situation is on the ground. Here's an exclusive conversation with Mr. Narayanasamy.
Now, in many parts of Puducherry, there is flood-like situation. In fact, even in your residence, there has been flooding. So, how are we tackling the situation now, sir?
No, actually, from yesterday morning 8:30 till this time, more than 23 centimeter rainfall had occurred. This never happened in Puducherry. Therefore, there is a waterlogging. Though we made preparation for the cleaning the drainage and all, because the water has to be thrown into the sea. Because the sea is rough. Therefore, water is coming from the sea towards the land. Therefore, water going inside the sea is little less. Therefore, waterlogging is there. If normal water going into the sea, this situation would have been avoided. Now, we are working overtime to ensure to pump the water through the diesel pump, because electricity failure is there, and we are trying to restore electricity also in between. There are reports that rain will continue for about 3 days. Therefore, we are vigilant. And wherever the trees have fallen, they are removing them.
How many of them have been moved to the relief camps?
About 2,000 people are in the relief camp, and the people are in safe places. No casualty has been reported so far. But what damage has been done to the boats and nets, which we will be knowing little later.
Let's get you a quick update on the rescue and relief work that's underway in coastal districts of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Mr. Randeep Kumar Rana, DIG Operations of the NDRF, is joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Rana, thank you for joining us here in India Today. Again, I'd like to reiterate our appreciation of the fact that personnel are out there on the ground dealing with the cyclone amid a pandemic. Can you just give us a sense of what kind of rescue and relief work has been done so far on the ground in the aftermath of the cyclone?
Good morning, ma'am. In fact, the perfect and accurate forecast of the path and the landing time and location by the IMD has helped NDRF as well as other agencies which are working on the ground, which helped us in knowing and earmarking the areas which are required to be focused. And resultantly, in pre-forecast, in pre-landfall activities, our teams, they carried out extensive community awareness programs in spreading awareness amongst the people on what is required to be done and what is not to be done during the cyclone time, and what additional precautions have to be taken in view of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Post-cyclone, as soon as the conditions became conducive, our teams, they are working on ground since early morning today itself in clearing the roads. Some trees have fallen, some electric poles they have bent, and there have been waterlogging in some of the areas. Our teams, they are working with the people, and I'm sure in the next 2 to 3 hours, the situation will become quite normal.
Mr. Rana, you know, there have been a lot of comparisons with Cyclone Gaja, and we saw the kind of destruction, devastation it had caused. This particular cyclone, the damage definitely seems to be minimal. What do you attribute that to? Because this was a powerful storm. Do you think that we were just better prepared?
Indeed, the preparedness started on 21st itself, and there was perfect coordination between all the agencies, right from the highest office in the government of India to the state government, as well as the lowest functionaries on the ground. There was very good coordination, and the intensity of the cyclone was also slightly less. That's why both in terms of the intensity of the cyclone and the levels of preparedness, the damage has been minimum. But at the same time, I would reiterate that the response mechanism within the country, be it for the cyclone, like this time it was Tamil Nadu and Puducherry which faced the major front, and earlier it was Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. The response mechanism has improved tremendously. There's no denying that. The coordination amongst various stakeholders, be it central government or the state government stakeholders, that has also improved a lot.
Okay.
And the pre-cyclone activities, that is reaching out to the community and discussing with them, because the community, they have been facing these type of catastrophes since times immemorial, and they have a lot of conventional wisdom and knowledge. So that wisdom, conventional wisdom, has to be amalgamated into the modern day requirements, and interaction with the community, discussing, planning and implementing those plans along with the community. It is also quite rewarding in these kind of situations.
Okay.
And NDRF has been doing exactly this. We have local language speaking people in each of our teams, and that has also proved to be very helpful in connecting with the community. And all our response, that has been focused and planned and executed in a way in which community is an integral part of all our operations.
Mr. Rana, for all the Chennaiites and people of Puducherry who are watching this broadcast, what would your advisory be to them? Because you are saying it will take a couple more hours for normalcy to return for the rescue and relief operations to be completed.
At this stage, the chances are as and when the electricity is restored. So some cases of electrocution may be there. So people should try to be cautious and do not try to touch down the you can say naked wires, and precautions to avoid electrocution, if that is taken, because many incidents, such incidents take place. At the same time, if some wall or house, it has weakened due to tree falling or some other meteorological reasons. So before occupying back the house, when people come back from the evacuation centers, before occupying their houses, make a survey. If the house is safe, if some part of the house or the wall or the roof, if it has weakened, then please reinforce that first before staying in the house again. So these are some of the accidents which cause loss sometimes. If people do take care of these things, then definitely further loss can be contained.
All right. Mr. Rana, I appreciate you joining us again. We'd like to appreciate the efforts of the NDRF also in rescue and relief efforts in the coastal districts of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Thank you, Mr. Rana, for speaking to us on India Today. Welcome back. The 12th anniversary of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks was observed in the financial capital Mumbai. The city police organized an event to pay homage to the martyred security personnel. The ceremony was held at the newly built memorial at the police headquarters in South Mumbai. Maharashtra Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, top police officers all paid their respects to the martyrs. Home Minister Amit Shah also tweeted and paid his tribute. On November 26, 2008, a memory that's still so very fresh in all of our minds, 10 Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists from Pakistan arrived by sea and opened fire, killing 166 people. This included 18 security personnel, injuring several others during the 60-hour siege in Mumbai. Saurabh Bakkania is also joining us live from Mumbai with the latest on this. Saurabh, tributes continuing to pour in for the martyrs as well as for all the survivors of the 26/11 attack. We also saw an event happening there at the Mumbai Police Headquarters. Take us through that.
Rakshita, nobody can forget what actually happened 12 years back in Mumbai, and so many people lost their life. Different places the attack actually took place in Mumbai in the late night. Now we are present at the Mumbai Police Headquarters, and here now the memorial, permanent memorial for the martyrs is built over here. Now the Mumbai police officials from all over the Mumbai are right now coming over here to pay tribute to the martyrs. Now Akshita, remember, this was the incident wherein Pakistan was completely exposed. A terrorist was caught alive. Here you can see on the banner the cops who actually lost their life, who sacrificed their life to save us. Here you can see the visual, the photo of Tukaram Umble, who actually caught terrorist Ajmal Kasab without a weapon. He just had a wooden stick, and with the help of it he actually caught Ajmal Kasab, and because of which the Pakistan is completely exposed. And so many things after this incident, Akshita, actually changed. So many reforms, so many new technology were provided to the Mumbai police officials, and the security was much tightened on the coastal front. Now the Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, Governor, Home Minister and the cabinet ministers were present over here. The survivors' family members were present over here. They met them, and after paying tribute to the martyrs, they left.
You know, this day is also a grim reminder of how Pakistan has denied justice to these heroes of the 26/11 attack, and the fact that the perpetrators are still scot-free. Saurabh, thank you for getting us all the latest on that story. On the other side of a short break here on India's Agenda, we're getting you...
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.